Good evening, good evening, good evening, you sexy motherfuckers, and welcome to another Predator Badlands live stream. Uh,
Yay.
the final trailer, the final fucking countdown for this movie is underway, and they are pushing it hard as fuck. So I said I'd get some other sexy motherfuckers who are fans of the franchise, hardcore fans of the franchise, to discuss this latest trailer. And yeah, so joining me tonight is the ever incomparable Eric from Hey Internet Eric here. And down underneath me here is another figure aficionado and collector extraordinaire, Predpool, absolute fucking legend of a lad and a fantastic predator collector, figure collector like myself. So they dropped what is the final trailer for Predator Badlands, and I'm 90% it's won me over. There are scenes. I'm not gonna fucking ball sack fucking lick this fucking thing out and out now because there there are issues. There are issues,
You're just
but
gonna lick it a little more than expected.
just a taint. Just a taint. Um Christ, and people think Jen is bad.
It's good to be
Um
back.
but by and large, this is an impressive trailer. Does it give away a bit too much? Possibly, but I think if this is the last hurrah, is if this is Trachtenberg's last push at getting their asses into seats on November 7th, this is a good way to fucking do it. Eric, what was your initial thoughts on this trailer?
I'm even more excited now than I was because every trailer I've seen before, the one that premiered today, I'm like, this looks like a lot of fun. And now with some of the stuff that they shown to me, which we'll definitely get into, I'm even more excited because it's stuff that I've been wanting to see from the Predator universe. You know what I mean? We're not on fucking Earth, finally, predators. We weren't on Earth, but we're going to see a lot more of the habitat. It looks like a lot more of the creatures. Um, it looks cool that we're going to have predators actually talk to each other. At least how it looks in the trailer. You know what I mean? Instead of them speaking English to an Earthling. So I think there's a lot of possibilities that people like me who aren't as into the lore like you guys are, the extended universe, will draw me in and make me get excited. And it's all in how it's executed. Trailers can be very misleading, but at least
hmm
as of today, I'm super super excited and cannot wait to go see this.
Yeah, it's got a lot of fucking potential, but there are some things again, as I said, I don't have an issue with it, but I do see kind of old school fans going to have issues, and it took me a while to come around, and I discussed this with Predpool before. If a franchise repeats itself, there is a danger of kind of stagnation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is innovation. I think this is the only direction that's left to go. Speaking of Predpool, what was your thoughts on this trailer, my friend?
pretty much like Eric, it got me more pumped up. Many aspects of the trailer, as far as wanted to see even more than before. There's like you, there's a few things here and there that nitpicks, I would say. If anything, I it kind of borderline gave too much away for me. It didn't, but it was kind of close to. In other words, let's put it that
Mm-hmm.
way. You I kind of have a good. think I have a good idea, like more towards the end, what we're going to be looking at. Um, as far as like who's going to be like the main antagonist for Deck. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
They gave out too much as far as that aspect. Like I don't think it's that big guy that we see. He's not. He's like a sub boss. There's
Mhm.
going to be obviously like maybe either the father or the other android might be
Tessa,
one of those. Tessa, right?
yeah.
So So one of them two is probably be like the main boss, either together or one of them. Most likely the father, I would think. And I think I know what's going to possibly happen. Something I think it's going to come into a first full circle. But again, I kind of some parts of the trailer kind of confirmed that for me in a way. I don't, maybe it won't happen that way, but it kind of made me think, yeah, it's leading to that.
I I'm with you as well. I think it would be too easy, and it's a red herring. The Kalaskian Devourer. It's that's the big thing. It's called. It's from the planet
Okay.
Kalask. It's called the Devourer, and Dek's father Nojar is fucking afraid of this thing. And I'm not going to give too much away, but some shit goes down at the start of the movie, and Dek, in order to kind of regain some semblance of honor and distinction in his father's eyes, decides to go after the thing that even his father's afraid to hunt. So I think it would be too paint by numbers for just him to go after that thing. I think you're right, man. There's going to be something else. Be it Tessa, be it Nojar, be it and I know Trachtenberg says there's not going to be xenomorphs in this, but I
You
get
think
that
he's
feeling.
lying?
I think so. I think he's got a fucking. I think that would be an ace up the sleeve not to fucking utilize, especially when you have Wayland Yutani fucking plastered all over this
Hmm.
fucking thing. Now, again, I could be eating fucking crow. This thing could drop, and we might even see a fucking egg. But I don't know why. I my spidey sense is tingling in that regard. Maybe I'm wrong.
I when it comes to movies now, I don't believe anything anybody says because I kind of told you when you uploaded the poster. The poster to me had an MCU feel. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It looked cool, but it still had an MCU feel. And I think look at how many people have lied and said they weren't in a certain Marvel movie. Andrew Garfield had to lie for over a year. Trachtenberg can just be full of shit and say that. You know what I mean? And a mid-credit sequence, maybe we have one of the Utani people with an egg. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Leaving it on whatever planet. Um, what's his name? Deck, I think.
Yeah.
Whatever planet he's on, whether he survives or not, we don't know. But they could just be setting the seed, no pun intended, to get a shared universe because I think there is enough there's enough curiosity because Prey was for the most part pretty well received from at least from my circle. And I think there's enough curiosity because of how good Romulus was and overall. And regardless of what you know some people think about the TV series. I think there's enough curiosity to bring people in to possibly another crossover movie. And even though I do enjoy the first one, try to maybe wash their hands of the AVP movies that we already got.
Yeah. Um, I can't see them trying to reintegrate them back into continuity because that just fucking that's just all over the fucking gaff. That
Hmm.
said, though, fucking Alien Earth fucking absolutely shits all over established continuity, but that's a story for another time. Also, big hello to John Grande. He
Hey, Grande.
is driving home from work. John, fucking legend you are, man. Thanks for stopping in and saying hey. Um, I I don't know. Would I be disappointed if there wasn't a xenomorph in it? No, but I just get the feeling that you don't put Wayland Yutani in something and not have some kind of fucking kind of uh, s- just feeling or sentiment that there's going to be a xenomorph there. Again, maybe I'm fucking reaching here.
I kind of
I,
I didn't mean to interrupt your Predpool, but I kind of I would be kind of happy if there wasn't
Mhm.
because I want to see how many pots Wayland Yutani has their fingers in. You know what I mean? It can't just be the fucking xenomorph. You know what I mean? There's got to be more to this evil company when it comes to, you know, finding the perfect weapon or whatever, they wanted. So I would be happy if there wasn't just to see who else they're going to fuck with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When it comes to different intergalactic species.
I I wouldn't be surprised if it's kind of like at the end, Deck and the android, they're in a ship, and she's like, "Well, I know a planet where there's something that you might like that you want to hunt, and then it shows an image of either an egg or on the screen or Xeno, whatever, and that's where they're gonna go.
Yeah.
Something that it's not directly, has the creature, but it kind of at the end gives you that hint. Oh, so there's a
It
possibility of that.
alludes to it. It
Mhm.
It
alludes to it.
alludes to
Okay.
it. Like I know there's another something you might like to hunt that's gonna, and then off they go and leave it at
Mhm.
that.
I think the strongest aspect of this trailer, lads, is I'll just try and bring it up here now. Give me 1 second. Is the range, and again, I gotta eat fucking crow.
Mhm.
'Cause I was talking to Predpool about this. The range of emotion Deck goes through in this scene here. I was like, this is fun. I was saying to the lads before we went live on stream, I've done a complete 180 thanks to Alien Earth, because I'm like, Jesus Christ, the practical effects is fucking shocking. And then I look at this chap and I'm like, how in the name of holy fuck does this look that good? And it
Mhm.
does. It does. I'm gonna fucking hold my hands up and say this looks fucking awesome. Like the look of fucking sorrow and anguish in a fucking, you feel sorry for the cunt
And
in
then it
that.
goes to frustration when he slams his hand on the
Yeah.
ground.
Yeah, again, Eric, what did you think with this kind of scene or segment? Were you
I
surprised?
I loved it because again, we're seeing something that we haven't seen. We haven't seen a predator on its first hunt, unless prey was on its first hunt, but we haven't seen a predator this young. We haven't seen a predator unless it's when the protagonist is about ready to do the death blow. We haven't really seen a predator struggle. You know what I mean? And this
Mhm.
predator I like is struggling with his emotions. We've seen a pissed off predator, but we've never seen like a frustrated predator. There's a big
Mhm.
difference. You know what I mean? And Dak is just like something has happened to this guy. And you can like right there, look at the way his brow is, you know what I mean? And like
Yeah.
his eyebrows and stuff. He looks disappointed in himself. And when you know that when it comes to the Yakujas, it's all about honor, the code and everything like that. And once you're dishonored, I take it like you're pushed out of the clan. You have to earn your way back in. And he's just so disappointed in himself. And as we know that his family is involved, it was probably his dad that shunned him, and he's, a son being shunned by the father, it doesn't matter, human, whatever, it's going to affect that creature to a lesser extent. And I like seeing it. That's possibly what we're getting. But either way, I like seeing Deck just pissed off and frustrated. And like I said, it's internal. And we
Yeah.
haven't seen that before. That's another thing that, like I said, we haven't seen that I'm looking forward to.
I'm
It's
kind of looking forward to, as far as if this movie does well and they decide to continue Deck's story, if he survives, hopefully he does.
Mm-hmm.
By looking at the father and his brother, which, if you look at what's been shown, their faces do look more like the traditional predators from the first few movies. It bears that resemblance. So if we go to another movie with Deck, hopefully maybe some time has passed and we'll see him grow. We'll see him like become more of the predator that we're kind of more used to seeing. So maybe again, you're right. This first movie, okay, I'm not used to it so much, etc. If a second movie is greenlit, we can see then hopefully a progression of it, and like, oh, okay, and now he looks even more badass. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
wow, okay, now I'm really rooting for this guy. He's not like stuck in one thing. That it gives him room to make changes on this character with some kind of logic, opposed to just this is how he looks, and then the second movie they change him completely, like they've done with the Xenos. One movie they look like this, another
Mm-hmm.
movie they don't have a dome, the other movie they don't have this and that, and it's just most part you don't get a lot of explanation as to why. Here at least you can say Deck looks different now because he's older, and we can base this on the prior movie in which the father and brother, that's how they look because they were older. So
Mm-hmm.
again, that's what I'm looking forward to. And a lot of the creatures that he's showing here in the images too, they're really interesting. I can't wait to see them on screen and how he deals with some of them.
I don't know, Predpool, did you notice they color graded and corrected the thing so his skin color isn't as flesh toned from the first trailer. You noticed that as well, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I think Trachtenberg was like, oh fuck, I better do something, but I don't want to. I don't want to totally cave into these fucking nerds.
Mm-hmm.
Just change the skin color. We'll
Mhm.
fucking we'll do that to keep them happy.
Yeah, let's add some more spots and
Yeah, yeah. There's definitely been tweaking. There's definitely been tweaking from the original, but I did the design has grown on me, and
Good.
I'm not going to fucking turn around and say, fucking I love it,
Mhm.
but it's feasible. It's feasible. Like, people are like, oh no, this fucking looks far more different from the Predators we saw in AVP, and they were Youngbloods. I'm gonna be fucking brutally honest. Some of the fucking and again, I'm realizing, do I like prosthetics as much as I thought I did?
Yeah.
Some of the fucking face sculpts and prosthesis on Scar in that movie, some of the scenes are grand, other scenes are like, Jesus, fuck that, it's rubbery as fuck.
There's certain stuff with the Scar in the first one that I'm like, he looks badass. Like when he's all full of rage, he's getting ready to go after the alien queen. He looks awesome.
Yeah.
But when he's standing in front of Santa
It
Lathan,
looks like they're about to kiss.
yes,
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it's like that meme, now kiss. You know what I mean? 'Cause
Mwah.
he looks like
Fuck her up.
he looks like a puppy dog. You know what I mean? Getting ready to hump her leg, type of thing.
But I think both Deck and Scar, the principles are the same. They want to do this heroic character. They wanted to do quote unquote humanize it and soften it. And there is that danger, though, you lose the essence of what a Yautja is. And I think as the trailers and clips were released, and as they went on, they've tweaked it to a point. They found a middle ground with Deck. I think they've definitely tweaked it from that first trailer, and you have more of those sharp, aggressive angles on the mandibles, on the jaws, on the ridges and stuff, and that works. I think that's what was missing in that first trailer. Nothing major, nothing substantial, but that and the color grading definitely benefited.
I'm just happy
the-
that we are actually seeing him when he's just standing around and he's not doing anything with his jaw actually shut. Because that's another thing, like from that Scar that I didn't like. We made the joke that they're gonna kiss, but when he's just standing there and his mandibles are open, you know what I mean? It just doesn't look right to me. So I was happy that with Decky, like his mouth is actually closed for a lot of this that we've seen before. Like he's getting ready to go into battle or something like that.
I've heard like different guys who've had different podcasts and stuff discussing the Predator movies, and I tend to agree they have not gotten the mouth right since part 2.
Yeah.
They just, the jaws are constantly kind of fucking open or poised, and like even in Predators, the mandibles are still open. What do you think? Do you think it's been a while since they've gotten the jowls and mandibles right, Predpool?
Yeah, pretty much. I kind of don't remember that same movie in Predators, the jungle hunter that was held captive. I mean, yeah, he was tied up and he was yelling part of it, but when Brody, it looked fairly normal. I mean,
His
it wasn't
lower
always way
mandibles
to,
were fucking tiny, though.
huh?
His lower mandibles were fucking
Oh,
tiny.
for the jungle hunter and Predator.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't, it wasn't exaggerated open at least and so forth. But yeah, I think you guys are right. I'm trying to think. Yeah, they all pretty much, because even in Prey, even though it's like whole different type of predator class, his jaws were, was always kind of like semi-open to a certain degree.
It's again, maybe you're right. Maybe it's the case that this. It's just sad that something that was accomplished in 1987 can't be fucking replicated in the subsequent
Well,
years
you know what?
with the advent of
Maybe
technology.
a lot of what it has to do with it is Stan Winston isn't with us no more. You know what I
Mm.
mean? You know, it's hard to. You know, he's trained so many people, but you know what? There's only been one Stan, and he was still alive for part two, I believe. And you
Yeah,
know, it's his design, and he just upped the ante a little bit with like the forehead and stuff like that. And I just don't get how they like in a this day and age, they can't just get it right after let's see, what, four movies, counting the
yeah.
crossovers. You know, they just can't get it right, and all you got to do is close the fucking mouth. You know what I mean?
just shut your fucking mouth,
Yeah,
okay?
he opens his mouth when he's pissed off and he's ready to hunt. Other than that, he's just sitting in the trees. You know what I mean? Just leave. He's relaxing. He's not pissed off or looking dopey all the time. Because again, I keep going back to Scar. He just looks like really dopey. Like a big dumb dog. Sitting there panting like he's hungry or something like that. And it just looks. It's such a fall from grace from the first two films when you compare to how he looks there.
I wanted an alien hunter, not Beethoven, for fuck's
The
sake. Speaking of slobbering creatures, one thing I am interested in. Again, okay, I'll address the weird reptile simian fucking creature in the room. Bud. Okay, so
that thing's on the poster, I remember, I think.
yeah.
Right? And that's the thing that I was wondering what the fuck it was. Out of all the monsters we've seen in all these trailers, I'm wondering what the fuck that monkey fish thing is. You know what I mean?
Okay, so I'll give you a breakdown. This is another creature that Weyland-Yutani captured.
Okay.
Deck releases it and it bonds with him. It's basically like a little fucking duckling that seems to have fucking imprinted onto Deck. It's a simian. It's some form of simian that can breathe fire, and Deck manages to domesticate this thing.
well,
Okay.
are you messing with me?
I'm
You messing with us right now?
hands fucking hands up in the fucking air. I shit you not. So it's
So
called
we've now gone from Predator, like a predator, try to impress his father, to Shrek and Donkey.
yeah. See again, this is the trepidation I have. And like Eric said, I was talking to Eric, Disney's got a Disney.
Mhm.
I think this is them going, hey, let's have our own fucking Grogu, our own baby Groot.
Mhm.
Well, here's one thing then. This kind of makes me believe what's gonna may happen then. So Deck has this half robot helping him, and now he's
Mhm.
also gonna have this fairly powerful little creature that shoots fire helping him. So even if he defeats that giant kaiju, his father's like, "Yeah, good for you, but you had help from these things helping. You had this robot and this little creature helping you. You're not really a warrior. You had these pathetic things helping you."
Mm.
I can
Okay.
see that happening where Deck is like, "Hey, here's the skull. Here's whatever this giant creature," and the father, "Yeah, but what are these two things here? They're the ones
I
that helped you.
look,
You didn't do it on your own. You're a loser."
look, I fucking it would be pretty shitty. It's like, Dad, but look, I needed some help. So I got a fire breathing monkey. If anyone's
Well, I mean,
if anyone's wondering, the source of this information, check out the guys over in AVP Galaxy. It goes by two names. I think Tia calls it Bud, and I think fucking the Deck calls him Squirt because he literally squirts shit out that's
Squirt.
flammable.
That's so stupid.
I mean, I don't. I mean, even in the Predator and what is it? Predators and the Predator, they had the dogs, their own version of
Right.
dogs. Okay, but you know, at least from Predators, they had the spikes. You can see they were menacing. They were hunting dogs, and they were like, man, these are cool. Now the Predator, I don't know why they made him look like Yautja face.
That,
but
that
but
that's a holdover. That's a holdover from the hybrid
But
script because
but
we were
even
going to
they,
get much worse. Actually, do you know what? That you've just fucking put me onto something. I wonder if this little fucker is a holdover from that script as well, because there was supposed to be fucking monkey predators.
well, there you go.
Fuck your
But
fucking
You
hell,
just can't.
man.
You just can't get away from the predator, can you, Marty?
No, it fucking haunts my waking fucking dreams.
here's the thing. I mean, I was kind of cool with Thea, right? Thea, I always forget the names. The girl, the robot. I
T
was
is
okay.
the good one.
Tia, yeah, Tia. I was cool with her helping him to a certain extent because yeah, she's cyborg, but she's half cut, so they're gonna have to have some human element. Now throwing into this fire-breathing monkey into the mix, and I get it's still Disney involved, but I don't know. It just takes away. Hopefully it doesn't. Maybe the movie, the way they present Deck and the way he takes out all these other creatures, etc., is just amazing. And this fire-breathing monkey just helps out once in a while, barely.
I'll say
But
this.
I don't want a predator getting help. Basically, as I want him to get as least help as possible. It was enough
Right.
with Tia. Tia was enough. He doesn't need now another little creature to. If he's being like, if something jumps on Deck, this little monkey guy's like, "No, father!" He starts shooting fire on
Yeah.
him. I have bonded
Well,
with
no,
him. I must save him.
guy, it's a blink and you miss it. It fucking attacks one of the synths that's going after him. Did you see that in the
Yeah.
trailer?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Well, it also, for me, it also depends on if it's cute or not. You know what I mean? It could be a rabid creature for all we know. We're just assuming, and we're probably right, that just because it is Disney, it's gonna be a cute little Grogu type character.
Well, in
You
the
know what I
poster, he
mean?
looks cute.
True, but again, we got to see. We got. I'm keeping an open mind with the. I just love the term fire breathing monkey. I'm keeping an
Fire-breathing
open.
monkey.
I'm keeping an open mind until we see it in action.
honest to God. I can just tell.
Fire-breathing monkey.
I can just tell though that, like again, Predpool, if you want to go on to AVP Galaxy in case you think I'm fucking now, unless they got it, and those guys rarely ever get their fucking shit wrong.
Okay.
Unless they're fucking spoofing people, which would really fuck the credibility of that website, which I doubt because those guys are fucking well in the mark.
Okay.
Essentially, this thing has some kind of fucking built-in defense mechanism. It can fucking spit or squirt out chemicals that are flammable and explosive.
Wow.
Well, look, do you know what? All joking aside,
Let's stop joking now. After
Now I want there at the end be a face hugger to take out this little thing.
But no, you know what? All fucking taking a piss aside, it stands to reason that something like this, so a creature this size, is able to survive on Kalisk, where you have all these other larger, more formidable kind of predators, and I don't mean Yautja, I mean genuine predatory creatures.
Mm-hmm.
So it would need an ace in the hole. It would need some kind of really fucking hard fucking defense mechanism.
Well, that's the thing. Like,
It
okay,
squirts
that's
fire.
fine. And you know what? And that's all good. And I'm fine with, this little creature having that kind of power, etc. That's
Mhm.
good. But I would have preferred, like in a movie, if there was a bunch of these little creatures and Deck has to deal with them. He has to try to, kill them, and they're all trying to kill him. Add that he has to fight big creatures, medium creatures, and little creatures that that do things that he unexpected, and it looks like for the most part he's doing that.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I just don't really picture Predator and then having a little creature like Papa.
You just don't want the predator to get help, and that makes sense because he's supposed
Get
to be doing this on
help.
his own.
Or a little creature bonding to him, saying, "Oh, this is my dad. I love him. He's so cool." And Deck is like, "Okay, you can follow me, no problem."
What's going to happen is Deck doesn't want the fucker around, and it's going to be the android on his back hanging onto him like Yoda that says, "Be nice." He means well. That's what it's going to be. It's going to
Now,
be like
it'll be
this little
funny.
twisted family. You got the two parents, and then you got the little shithead son at the causing trouble, putting the parents against each other.
I'll be okay if Deck grabs and just squeezes them and uses them to shoot fire.
Uses him as a weapon. Yeah.
Okay. No, look, Predpool. I know. I look. I get where you're coming from as well. It's bad enough. Deck is getting help, but
Mhm.
getting help from something that's essentially salacious fucking crumb from Jabba's fucking palace is probably
Yeah.
something you don't want either. Look, Bud is definitely going to be a fucking a contentious fucking thing when he appears on screen. I think. How he's utilized, we don't know.
Right.
Just the lads from AVP Galaxy say that he's basically going to be a pet. He's going to be Deck's pet. So
I mean, maybe just like you know, how you felt about CGI and practical effects. Maybe after I watch the movie, we'll meet again. It'll be like, oh my God, Bog was amazing. I love him. I want action figures of him.
We're gonna get it, hashtag squirt, hashtag fire
Yeah.
breathing monkey. We're gonna get it all trending.
Marty,
And,
Marty be like, what is your favorite part, Predpool? Oh man, Bog.
Marty's gonna be
no one can find a Bud.
He's gonna be pre-ordering the Sideshow collectibles of Squirt and all
Oh
this
God,
stuff.
Squirt, even better.
But I think the movie does so well. The little fucker gets a spin-off movie where the crew of the Nostromo ended up landing on this planet and have to take out a bunch of buds.
It's gonna be like Star Trek and the Tribbles, is what it's gonna be.
It's gonna be like the fucking Ghoulies. They'll be
Now,
coming up to the toilet and shit.
Bear with me. Squirt meets Teocellus. Teocellus takes him over.
That'd be fucking weird. Right, moving on to what this thing has gotten the fucking nickname. I think the Broncovorum. That's what they're calling this thing. It's an elephant.
Yeah, it looked like an elephant to me.
It's an elephant in one state, and then its fucking trunk goes in, and its ears come together to make a horn, like a fucking woolly rhino or something like it. It looks fucking badass. It's pretty cool. Again, it's just another fucking monstrosity that Callus has this mad bestiary. Between this, the pterodactyl, the devourer, Bud,
Squirt. Get it right.
Squirt.
I think Marty refuses to acknowledge him as Squirt,
not Bud.
Now, this creature here, I would like when I saw that. Oh, that looks pretty cool. But again, part of the trailer ruined things about this creature for me because they already showed Deck taking it out.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, that was, I should have saved that for the movie. Let me see in the movie when he takes him out. I already know when this thing comes across Deck is going to do something with the sword, and this thing is going to split in half.
Well, that's because it's going to be easy to take the big animals out, and that's why he's letting Squirt live, because he knows.
No, but I would have waited to see in the movie for this thing to be taken out, not be shown in the trailer, that part. And I think this actually would have been would have been a cool kaiju for a Godzilla movie. And I'm not trying to knock it down or anything like that, but the design is workable, I think, in either type of genre.
Yeah, it's an interesting design. It's a cool design.
I honestly, I hope there's more than just those purple flowers or whatever. I'm also interested in how deadly the plant life is too. You know what I mean? Because that's one thing I did like about this trailer. I mean, the first couple trailers we saw, the thorns come out, but this time we actually see him getting hit with them. So I hope there's a little bit more of the plant life that we find out is dangerous. I mean, that literally could be just that one plant, in that one scene, but it would be cool if how dangerous everything is on that planet, because remember, the android says, the most dangerous planet in the universe, or whatever the line is, you know what I mean? And not just for the creatures would be cool.
Yeah, no, the fauna, the flora is just as dangerous as the fauna. I'm wondering, are those barbs in conjunction with the vines that they fucking paralyze the prey, and then the vine part fucking devours it? Because and also I'm wondering, is that thing that's fucking looping through the trees, this big fucking sphere octopus fucking tentacle thing, I wonder, is that connected to the vines as well? I'm just, again, the one thing I will give this movie, flaws regardless. It's got imagination. That's
Yes.
something that's lacking
Again,
in a lot of movies.
that's what's drawing me in, man. It's just again, Marty and Predpool, you guys know my love for the franchise. It's
Mm.
just a bunch of dudes, having to deal with a predator. You know what I mean? From the
Hmm.
first one to the end, that's really what it is. And you get some kids thrown in like the previous movies, for reasons. But now, if he's on another planet, you can do anything. You know
Hmm.
what I
Yeah.
mean? You're the handcuffs are off. You want, poisonous flowers? You can do that. You want a big fucking pterodactyl because, you want a big fucking pterodactyl? You can do that. And you just talked about how maybe, that flower, maybe it hits you with the thorn and is attached to something that like a Venus flytrap or something. Maybe that's how the android gets bit in half. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Because we don't
I
know that
want.
either.
I wonder if like at some point in the movie he falls into some kind of pond or lake, and we see some kind of like water-based creature too. Like
Yeah, that would be cool too.
everything, everywhere, land, air, and sea. There's always something that's gonna
Mm-hmm.
try to take you out or eat you.
And it's again, it's as you said, the handcuffs are off, the restraints are
Mm-hmm.
off. Um, this I there is aspects of this kind of story and things that I will criticize,
Mm-hmm.
but like I was discussing with Predpool and like we were discussing before, is that this franchise does need to innovate because
Hmm.
there's only so many times a bunch of
Right.
buff dudes with machine guns can fucking go shooting this thing and be picked off one by
Yeah,
one.
that's exactly what I mean. Yeah.
Um, it's the approach with Deck that Trachtenberg went. He cited examples. He cited Conan the Barbarian. He cited Mad Max. This is an anti-hero. This is Riddick. This is something that is rooted for me in pulp adventure, good old
Mhm.
pulp adventure. This a stranger in a strange land, fucking best archetype you can go with, and I think this is the innovation that this franchise needs. Um, whether whether the sci-fi look, we're the fucking the the fucking table is set now, and it's
Mhm.
obvious this any aspect of kind of horror or tension or kind of slasher aspect to this creature is not going to be in this movie.
Mhm.
This is the he is now at the bottom of the food chain, and part of me is interested, part of me is glad for the innovation. Hey, Doc Kaiju, but also part of me is worried. Have we lost something that's integral with this creature, with these species?
I don't think so, and it's another thing that I'm excited to see. The predator is always the heavy in these
Yeah,
movies, no matter what entry, even the ones that we like to make fun of. You know what I mean? The predator is always the heavy. The predator is always the one 2 steps ahead of the the main characters. And again, it's nice to see the predator being the protagonist. You know what I mean? Being the main protagonist. We're not following Arnold or Danny Glover or whatever. We're following the predator plus an android and a fucking fire breathing monkey. But all jokes aside, it's nice to see again. He's not in control. He is. I don't want to say he's the weakling, but he's not the heavy. You know what I
he,
mean? He has all
yeah,
these odds against him, and it's something we've never seen before. And that's what's again, as someone who doesn't know the lore, outside of the movies, other than a couple offshoots here and there from the comics, I'm more excited because again, like we've said, it's the creativity. It's something we haven't seen before. I want to see a predator that's in over his head, and that's what's really drawn me in. Yes, it's cool that we're getting Wayland Yutani stuff. Yes, it's cool that we're getting giant kaiju monsters and an evil android and stuff like that. But I'm here to see a predator that is at the bottom of the barrel. It's been dishonored, and it's trying to win its honor back, and it doesn't know how because it's got all the odds stacked against him. That's what's really drawn me to this movie, aside from pterodactyls and the creative stuff like that.
For
yeah.
me,
It's
like what I miss from previous movies after the second movie, the first two movies, something that kind of like brought mystery or kind of a little bit of fear of the Joucha was two things for me. Was that the cloaking and the blades.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the first two movies, when the predators cloaked, it's like, oh crap, they don't see them. You as the viewer knew, there's something there, like, warped as far as, oh man, I think the predator's over there. That brought the mystery. And then, the blades, that were utilized, it's like, wow, that's the horror part, because it's
Mm-hmm.
gonna dismember somebody. But the movies afterwards, they kind of left those things kind of behind in a way. The cloaking was used less. Um, Not as far as, like it's like a mystery type thing. So I'm glad in this movie they're bringing the cloaking kind of. It looks like they're using it a little bit more, although it's not really in that suspenseful, scary kind of like where he's at type thing, like others don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And the Blaze, I'm hoping maybe after this movie, because when you look at the animated Killers of Killers, there
Mm-hmm.
was, especially in the Japan one, he was using the cloak. He was, stabbing people with his blades all over the place, and that brought, especially when they were running on top of the rooftops, he's cloaked, and the ninja uses brain and had to use a smoke bomb to, oh crap. So even though you as a viewer knew what was going on, but the fact that he was using these arsenal that he has was kind of like kept you in suspense.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I haven't really experienced too much of that again prior after the first two movies. I don't think it's going to be a whole lot. I'm going to feel that way with this movie either, even though it seems they're going to be using it more. But the way they're using it is again more of an action, less suspense. I
I
I,
I
I kind of still crave that one, like another Predator movie where it's just like, and it's not doesn't have to be by the number, but just like, just the glowy eyes is somewhere, and all of a
Mm-hmm.
sudden,
Mm-hmm.
the all of a sudden the blade and and you're like, oh crap, and you're like, man, I didn't expect that to happen. When you see the first time the movie,
yeah.
that's what I want to
Right.
experience again.
I I'm look again. I do feel that this movie is going to usher in a change in direction for the franchise.
Yeah,
The franchise has changed, I think, since the second one,
Mm-hmm.
um, and it took me a while to compartmentalize that we are not going to have, like Predpool said, we're not going to have the suspenseful kind of
Right.
um, Predator movie. But again, you could rationalize it as well. Well, Alien and Aliens. One was
Mm-hmm.
a horror film, one was an action. The
Right.
transition worked.
Right.
It was hoped. I'm just hoping the transition is subtly done. I just hope it isn't fucking jarring. I hope we don't go from the Predator franchise into the fucking Marvel franchise. It would be
mm,
too fucking jarring for me. Also, Double Feature Podcast says they love seeing the perspective from this younger Predator
Yes.
who has to prove himself. Also, Double Feature Podcast, if you haven't checked out their fucking channel, check them out. They're fucking awesome. Also, Doc Kaiju is in the house. If you haven't checked out his stuff, fantastic dude as well. I'm I Predpool, when you were talking about the cloak, I think now I it might have been SFX magazine. I don't think Deck has a cloak. I think it's Nojar that has the cloak. I think it's a case that he's uninitiated and he doesn't get the cloaking device until he's
yeah.
initiated.
And when I
Right.
refer, like again, his father has it, and then this new trailer shows Deck fighting either the father or maybe his brother who is cloaked. I don't know, but he's fighting somebody else that's cloaked, like in the smoke.
Yeah,
So there's the cloak is being used at least by the two other predators. Whether maybe
Mm-hmm.
at once maybe he gets upgraded, I don't know. But yeah, you're right. And again, like even in this movie, okay, he's in this planet, and I don't know. It just maybe the cloaking is something they have to earn with more experience.
yeah,
Maybe that's the
Kind of like
logic
like
of
they have
it.
to earn the shoulder cannons type of thing. You know what I mean?
Exactly. But it still would have been cool, like, if he had the cloak and he's, not all the creatures, not all of them can really see him. Maybe a few of them can like sense him, but they don't know where he's at. And all of a sudden, he takes them out, kind of like what happened in Prey with Coyote.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Something to that effect. The Coyote knew, hey, there's something there because of animal instincts, but he was cloaked for the most part of it, and with the bear. So Prey did it. I kind of forgot to mention that before. Prey did recently do more of the cloaking, and I was kind of glad that they kind of showed a more full force that ability that the Predators have.
I I would like him to have the cloak as well, but for the opposite reason of what you mentioned. Wouldn't be funny if he was. Now again, I don't think he has a cloak, but wouldn't be funny if he, because he's a young kind of a young predator who isn't experienced in hunting, and he's like, okay, I got my cloak, I'm invincible, and he doesn't realize that not all species see in the same spectrum of light. So
Hmm.
imagine he fucking tries to use it, and this thing is like, yeah, I can fucking see this bastard.
Right.
I'm gonna use him. Like, that would be interesting. That would be a kind of fucking switch where you have this as you said, this badass moment where you see the shimmer and the thing just goes straight fucking for him.
Yeah,
Or like,
just,
or like,
backhands him or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
oh, he goes to the Weyland Yutani base and he's cloaked, and all of a sudden, all the androids they see him
They
and
see
they all
him.
point,
Yeah,
they all
that
point
would
his
be
guns
That makes
at him,
sense. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
and he's like, "Oh crap!"
Speaking of guys, this leads on to another contentious thing that, well, I think people are going to find it contentious. I won't. So we have humanoid antagonists in this movie, but they're synthetics. And as a result, if you go over to AVP Galaxy, they have all but confirmed this movie is going to be PG-13. How, again, no humans in this, it's synthetics and alien creatures, and that works. You can still get away with that. AVP, for its flaws, was still cool and action packed in certain scenes, and that had a lower certification. What the fuck was Prey? Was
Prey was
Prey?
R.
Prey was R. Okay.
Yeah, it was R.
Okay. So
Probably
this
just
is-
for the bear scene alone.
yeah. This I'm wondering, again, we're going to have creatures with white blood, humanoid creatures with white blood. These aliens are going to have different blood. Again, I just feel this is between the kind of tonal shift, which I'm, as I said before, I've made peace with, and I'm looking forward to. The monkey that's going to
Now,
be
see,
in this.
that's what he doesn't have his shoulder cannon yet, so Squirt's going to be sitting right up there shooting the
Oh,
fireball.
oh, now it makes sense,
He
bro.
pulls his tail every
He
time
just
he wants to
he just
fire.
squeezes
He
him.
just pulls his fucking tail. But this is going back to what you were saying, Eric. Are we getting a Guardians of the Galaxy Predator edition?
No, I don't think so. Yes, like we said, we got our Grogu, we got our Groot, whatever. I'm actually, I said it before we went on, and I'm 100% okay with a PG-13 because first off, you had a lot of people bitching that we needed a rated R Alien versus Predator. Well, we got Requiem, whoop de fucking do, that didn't help, did it? But I'm thinking back. I was like, literally, I was just thinking about it. Now we can go back because, like you said, we can just do whatever we want to synthetics. You know what I mean? Let's go back. Marty, you and me. We grew up watching like Ninja Turtles and GI Joe. They blew the hell out of those foot soldiers because they were robots. They blew the hell out of all those. I think they were
Cobra
called
bats?
bats. The Cobra bats because they were robots. You can do whatever you want to these synthetics. You want to decapitate one, you want to gut one, you want to rip an arm off. We don't know what happens to this original synthetic that's buddy with Dex, so that's probably going to be a little graphic. But with it being like this white milky fluid instead of blood, I think again, knock on wood, the creativity can come out. We can get more. We can get heads exploding, or we can get a synthetic set on fire. All jokes aside about the monkey, we can get synthetic set on fire and stuff like that that we couldn't.
Trenchy came into the chat. Trenchy came up with the best statement ever. If the monkey ends up being an explosive shotgun, it will be the best animal sidekick ever.
See,
now
he's gonna be right here. He's gonna be. You just squeeze him. You know what I mean?
Now going back to the synthetics,
Mm-hmm.
Some fans of Predator have wanted to see Predator versus Terminator. I think this is as close as you're going to get to it as of right now. So you can go into this movie with that mentality. Oh, Predator is gonna mess up a bunch of Terminators, basically, because you're gonna see wires. I mean, yeah, you're gonna see the white fluid, but they might be twitching. Like a robot. They might be doing things that. So you can go into that mentality. Okay, so now we got Predator versus Terminator in a way.
And also a synthetic can survive a lot more than what a human can. So they might be more difficult for Deck or anyone to take out. Because remember, Bishop was ripped in fucking half. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he was still alive. So
yeah, and
the possibilities are there if they choose to go that way.
And looking at the trailer, looks like all those synthetic guys, they're all the same face. So it's just like basically clones. That he's fighting.
Then somewhere in the background, boom, Skynet logo. Hey, Larry's
there. You go.
Hey,
look,
Larry.
look. I'll be right back. Give me 1 second, because I gotta get something and show it to you guys, and
Okay.
you can be right back. 1 second.
All right.
I swear to God, if he's got like a little fire breathing monkey and he's just been building all this up, for over an hour.
Now I do have a Xeno with TSL's eye. Aha.
See? I'm all for them all being synthetics, because like I said, you can be so creative. It's there, man. It's there.
Hey Marty, check this out. A Xeno with a TSL's eye.
Googly eyes. I've done that as well.
I love it.
So in case you guys are wondering, is Predpool having a stroke and stuff, saying Terminators versus Predators?
No, just imagine it was. I'm not saying it is. And you said imagine that it would be. But yeah, there is a comic also.
Yeah, I've got that one. I haven't read it in forever, but I've got it. Yeah.
It's set in the Alien Resurrection timeline. It's got some good ideas, but
yeah. Well, the ideas are one thing. It's all in the execution. I just remember I read it once, and I'm like, okay, that was a story.
Yeah. Actually, Eric reminded me, Laser Shot is using the Terminator as a cod piece. So, So there's a Predator out there using a fucking Terminator head as an underpants.
No, for real.
Okay?
Yeah. True.
Look, Eric.
I'm good. It's good. Like I said, it's good to be back, Marty. Jesus Christ.
Is there one thing I do want to bring up is so we are getting dual roles from Elle Fanning, and we're getting 2 models of synthetic. Tia, which is an anthropologist scientist version of the Weyland-Yutani Weapons Division, very jovial, very happy out, very like Bishop, and very like Andy. And then we are getting Tessa, and Tessa is the combat model. Tessa is she'll retrieve a sample whether she has to wipe out an entire fucking
planet.
Any means
necessary,
to do it. Interesting thing about Tessa, I noticed on the poster, if I can fucking find it. There we go. Give me a second.
Sure.
She has a shoulder cannon. She has a Predator shoulder cannon.
Okay.
And yeah, it's right here. I don't know if you can see it there, but it's there. So
it's right there under her hair.
I'm wondering, is that something she took from Deck Ship, or if she's taken out a Predator in the past? Is she familiar with this? That's what I'm interested in.
Or is Weyland-Yutani behind creating the shoulder cannons, and the Predator takes that as like a trophy or as a weapon?
Well, the thing is, the shoulder cannons, it's shown that the shoulder. Okay, so this movie is set. I'm going by the mother module. This movie is set post Alien 3, maybe by a few years.
Okay.
And obviously, they're still working the original Predator and stuff into continuity. So the Predators have those shoulder cannons already.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm just wondering if she's taken out a Predator in the past, and is that like you were saying, Predpool, is she the real fucking enemy? Is she the real fucking obstacle in this? What do you think? Having a synth as an antagonist in the movie, does it work while our hero Predator is partnered up with one? Do you think it'll be the classic, oh, which one's which one's the evil twin? What do you think? Do you think it's a cheap idea? Do you think it's a cool idea?
I I don't mind it. And I think that yes, she is gonna play a big part as far as being one of the antagonists. Because I still think the father is really the main one for Deck. She may be for her, kind of say for her twin sister. Um, but I think that if I wouldn't be surprised that if somehow maybe Tia takes over her body or something along the lines that gets a full body after this. I don't know. Like she's half a body the whole time, and something happens where I don't know. But I don't think Tessa is gonna really survive this one. I
Oh
think
yeah,
that
no.
she's
Obviously, I'm just wondering how much of a threat is she? Like, okay, out of the okay, I'll do a round fucking table thing. Um, and you touched on this before, Predpool. What, Eric? What do you think is going to be the biggest adversary for Deck in this movie? The Callous Devourer, Nojar, his father, or Tia? Or Tessa. Tessa, sorry.
Well, at first I thought it was going to end up being his dad because that's the reason why he's doing all of this. You know what I mean? As far as we know, that's the reason why he's doing this. But now that you guys were talking about, she's basically the hunter. You know what I mean? I think she's going to end up being it because Wayland Yutani doesn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? They were going to put a face hugger on a kid, on Newt. You know what I mean? They do not care. And if she is a synthetic, she doesn't have emotions and she has a job to do. And I think she will be unstoppable. And like we just talked about, with the whole PG-13 thing, like the foot soldiers and the bats, you can do whatever the hell you want. She can survive. Like I said, she can survive a lot more than a human can. Burn her up. Well, if she gets herself put out, she can walk around with burn scars and stuff. She looks damaged, at least in the poster. There's something off with her face. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's scars or veins or what, but she gets damaged, and I think she's going to be the final antagonist. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's definitely she was definitely the one in the repair module in that second trailer, judging by the location of the scars and stuff on the face.
Yeah.
Predpool, what about you? What do you think is going to be the big bad? Who do you think is going to be the quote unquote final boss in this movie?
I think it's gonna be the father because in this trailer they already showed Deck like using the sword to slice the big creature in his belly. He's already caused a major damage right there based on the trailer. They're showing way too much of him, of that big creature. So they're gonna try to
It's
do
red herring.
a
It's a red herring. It's
yeah,
a red herring.
Exactly. It's a red herring. So that leaves either Tessa or the father.
Okay.
I think it'll be the father because if it begins with the father, the whole story basically has to do with Deck and his father, and has to prove to his father. Deck is also may want to avenge his brother. There's a whole lot of things going on there that, at the end, that has to be resolved, and I think that's going to be the final thing for the story. Now, you may have where it relives where. Oh, spoilers!
Yeah, I'm going to put up potential spoilers because we are delving into the opening 20 minutes and the incident between his father Nojar and his brother Kawe and what goes on there. I don't know if because you seem pretty privy to that as well from the way you're describing it, or are you just spitballing theory here?
No, I read some of the articles as far as what's supposed to happen, and that the brother and him first go at it, but then the brother spares him, and then the father comes in and say, "Hey, you're supposed to kill your brother," and he said, "No, I love my brother," and then he kills him, and Deck is trapped, and then he has to go to the planet to try to prove himself. But I think at the end of it, it's gonna come to full circle where the father finally shows up again, and maybe now Tia's in danger by the father. The father say, "What is this metal garbage that's next to you?" And he's gonna
Mhm.
take out Tia. And now Deck is like almost reliving that first time with his brother, and now maybe this time he's successful in saving Tia or whatever, as far as stopping the father.
I
So he comes to a full circle. I think that's what, and yet also proving that he is a hunter. Now, whether the father is killed by Deck or not, that is to be seen.
Right.
But I think the father is pretty much the end boss. As far as
mm,
Tessa, she maybe she will survive. Maybe she's the one that blast off in some kind of ship and probably you haven't seen the last of me with her thing on her shoulder and that'll be it. Maybe she kidnaps not Squirt and no, we gotta save Squirt.
okay, guys. I got a bit. Okay, going back to what we were saying earlier.
Jesus.
Larry is, and again, I totally understand your reaction to this, Larry. Larry is just now finding out this movie's going to be PG-13, and he says he may wait till streaming.
Mm,
I'm so all for it because, like I said, I think they can get
yeah.
away with a lot more, PG-13 or not. So
No, but I think, Larry, that the main consensus of this movie is there is no human antagonists in this. It's either synthetics or alien creatures. So I think a movie can be violent without actually
Mhm.
showing any kind of gore.
Here's the thing. Like I said, with you can get away with more with the synthetics. I mean, do we really need to see skinned bodies again? No. You know what I mean? We've seen it in every fucking movie. I mean, we know the lore, unless again, you're a brand new person to this. You've never seen a Predator or don't even know what a Predator movie, is. We know we don't have to see that skinned body. It's like, like you said, sure, Wayland Yutani's in it. We don't need to see a xenomorph egg. You know what I mean? So that's just my take on it.
But
I'm definitely being there opening weekend in the theaters.
and the thing is, it's not just the synthetics that he's fighting. He's fighting other creatures on the planet, in which he
Right.
might skin one or two of them, for all we
Right.
know.
And
So
you can
that
get
might
away
be
with a
some.
lot of
So
killing a CGI creature. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean we're not going to get limbs cut off or heads cut off or, disembowelments or whatever. It's just you can get away with a lot more if it's, a predator attacking a wild animal. You know what I mean? That doesn't exist.
Larry, I'll put it to you this way, right? I'll take a PG Predator movie where it's fighting all these cool creatures and synthetics over Predator versus Autism any fucking day. Okay,
wow. That
seriously.
should have been the title, right, of that movie. Imagine how
AVP,
that would have done.
Autism versus Predator.
That's the director's cut.
Coming to theater near you, Predator versus Autism. Imagine.
And come here, no, we're not taking the piss out of anyone with autism.
No, we're not. Just taking piss on the movie
I have friends
itself.
who are on the spectrum, and no, so in all seriousness, I have friends who are on the spectrum and stuff, and fuck it, I reckon I'm a bit fucking there as well. But it's the fucking really bad betrayal.
It's a major plot point in The Predator. That's what it is.
No, Doc Kaiju, it was shown at San Diego Comic-Con. A lot of people got to see it. And the plot, the opening 20 minutes involving Deck, his brother Kawe, and Nojar was leaked. And again,
but that happens at a lot of Comic-Cons. They release the first 20 minutes of a lot of films, and there's always that dickhead with the camera. You know what I mean? So
but it wasn't just dickhead with the camera.
But the director himself leaked that information too. Some articles. He touched on that. So he kind of said, "Hey, this is what the story is going to be about. Roughly father son beginning, and then we're going to see what happens on the planet." And then he kind of leaves it. Then he doesn't give any more than that. But he kind of gave in some interviews and articles, this is what you're going to expect to see, type of deal, to a certain limit.
just as well, I just want to go through some of the posters as well. There's another alternate poster that was put up. I don't know what country it is. Maybe someone might recognize the language or something. But it's a kick-ass poster. I just wanted to showcase it because I like it. It's cool. I think it's a cool poster. And yeah.
Oh, that's neat.
I'm not go on.
I was gonna say, it can't be any worse than an MCU poster, but that looks like it's like Beverly Hills Cop. You know what I mean? Straight out of the '80s. You know what that is?
No.
It's Tango and Cash with Predator.
No. I'm
It's
sorry.
just the
That
two
is
actors back to back with the guns.
That is MCU. That is Hawkeye and Black Widow.
Yeah, but no one cares about Hawkeye and Black Widow. So.
No, but I'm just saying that's the MCU, like their pose and everything. He's got the bow and arrow, she's got the gun.
Yeah. It looks cool. The artwork is awesome.
But
I really like the artwork,
it does.
But it's definitely buddy cop.
But it does look cool. I like it, and I like the helmet.
Yeah, the helmet is awesome.
The helmet is pretty cool. The face mask.
I'm wondering how far now.
And what is that on his forearm? That's what I'm wondering.
Oh,
Yu-Gi-Oh?
that launches. Again, they've gotten rid of the shuriken and they've gotten rid of the fucking disc, and what we get is this thing that pop. It's like that fucking yoke in the Predator. Christ, this movie fucking haunts me. This thing fucking. It's like the fucking thing that pops out of the fucking gauntlet and shoots like a disc, and that's what hits in either the first or second trailer. That's what hits the bark of the tree next to Tia, and that's what she grabs and uses to kill the pterodactyl.
Right. I was thinking maybe something like the little weapon that was shot out in Predator 2 that was wedged in the little vent.
That's the flechette. Yeah. The flechette fires from the top of the gauntlet like a fucking arrow. This thing pops up and then spins.
Okay.
This thing.
So is it similar to a little bit to what we saw in Prey, where he had those things that popped up?
Yeah, kind of like that. I was talking to another lad about it, and he said, "Yeah, it's like a fucking Beyblade." I'm like, "Fuck off!" And he's like, "Yeah, it's like a fucking Beyblade. It pops up out of the thing and just spins." I'm like, "Okay, right, all right."
Well, see, so this is for everybody. This movie.
Yeah. they gotta get those kids. They gotta get those fucking kids.
We'll get them somehow.
I like with every Predator movie, though. I am interested in the new tech. I do like how they have. I don't know, talk about bringing the kids, and they have a laser-looking sword. You know what I mean? I like the look of that new type of shield we have that looks like it's made out of light or lasers or something like that. It's just, again, like I said, it's something new that is enticing me. That, again, I've never read a fucking comic, probably since Batman versus Predator. So, that tells you how long it's been, Marty. But it's something new that I haven't seen.
You can tell Trachtenberg's been cherry picking. The sword is basically Lost Sword, right, Predpool?
Yep.
The Lost Predator. There's a fucking predator that travels to the future with two other mad bastards and they hunt Terminators. And the only way to kill him is to use laser swords. One of the guys, laser shot, has an energy shield. Dex seems to have an energy shield. The bow. I like the bow. I like the bows they use in fucking hunting grounds. This one is a laser bow. I don't see. You see it there. How do you not cut your fingers on a laser fucking on the fucking and the arrow? It's like, then just use a regular fucking energy projectile. You don't need to make a fucking bow. I don't know. It seems a bit.
Maybe because it requires like him to actually aim it, maybe. So like the cannon on the shoulder has an auto locking system, but with the bow he has to actually use skill and whatever experience, made that.
Larry says the Force. That's what he.
The Force.
I got a question for you guys, since you know the lore more than me. There's that one scene where you see Dex with some type of pistol. Have they ever used guns like that, or do you think he picked that up from someone else? That's
a Weyland-Yutani. Okay, so there's something else that's been not bugging me. It's supposedly set not too far after the events of Aliens and Alien 3. And maybe this is an early prototype, the weapons are giving me the Weyland-Yutani weapons are giving me a very Alien Resurrection vibe. Did
No,
you?
I didn't. I really don't remember as far as the look from Resurrection.
No,
The weapons, at least.
these boxy kind of things that have fucking too many attachments that they don't need. That's very Alien Resurrection.
Okay.
So I'm wondering, are they going to say? And again, I'm spitballing, I'm nerding. This could be just someone's like, yeah, use that gun. They usually, usually they're given a fucking, they're given a Bible, a universe Bible, and someone's like, yeah, fuck it, we'll use that. And some fuckers don't even realize, well, actually, this weapon is 300. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. Just give me this fucking gun. It looks cool. So yeah, no, but again, that's going to cause more fucking problem as well, because the amount of uproar people had when, and this is one of the few things I didn't have a problem with in The Predator. When you're in a pinch and you're out of weapons, you'll use a human gun, you'll use a human pistol.
Yeah.
And I've
use
no
a
problem
rock
with
if
that.
you have to. Yeah, it doesn't matter. You want to survive, so
yeah. It like, again, there's loads of examples of predators in comic books. In fucking Big Game, a predator uses an M16 to kill a bunch of fucking National Guardsmen.
I think I have that paperback. I can't wait to read it now.
Yeah, the guy's in the desert and the predator comes up out of the fucking sand, cuts his throat, takes an M16, and the two guys are like, hey, is there something? And the predator's trying to fucking cock the thing, and some dumbass is like, hey, Barry, is there something wrong with your pea shooter? And the predator just fucking opens up like fucking, remember Zod when he goes into the White House in fucking Superman 2? He just starts caking, lads. And then you've got the Alien versus Predator arcade game where they're using pulse rifles, which is fucking sexy.
Oh, that's right.
And Deadliest of the Species. I can go on. There's even a Batman comic where there's a fucking predator that has Wild Bill Hickok's fucking revolver, and he fucking quick shots Alfred in the fucking hip. Like, it's
why not?
The thing is, like in some sci-fi movies, when humans come across like some kind of aliens weapons, like guns or whatever, they'll try to figure out how to use it just to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you know?
so it
if
makes sense.
it makes sense that Predator, if he doesn't have anything, he's like, well, let me use this thing. I think it's primitive, but it gets the job done. Let me go and use it.
He's not on the hunt at that point. He's trying to survive the night or whatever. You know, the whatever's coming after him. There's a big difference.
Come here. I'm going to start rounding it down in a bit, and I'll get a chance for you guys to promote your stuff. But okay, so another round table thing, right? Eric, what's one thing you hope to see from this movie, and one thing you hope not to see in this movie?
Well, like I said, I'm very excited about it. Is bringing in stuff from the Alien universe. I hope we don't see a xenomorph. I hope we don't see a face hugger. I hope we don't see an alien egg, because I like Easter eggs. Easter eggs are fun, but I want this to be a Predator movie. Okay. You know what I mean? So that's what I want. That's what I don't want.
Like
to see.
if it was an after credits thing. Hello, City Hunter Love. How you doing? If it was an after credits thing, if it was like a post credit scene.
Oh, that's fine. That's 30 seconds to a minute, dude. That I don't give a shit about. But I don't want the focus of a Predator movie, or a good chunk of it, to be a xenomorph egg. You know what I mean? Or I don't want to see these synthetics to have, a fucking baby xenomorph in a tube or something like that, or a xenomorph fetus or whatever. I want this to be a Predator movie with little things in this shared universe sprinkled out. You know what I mean? Like a comic book. You know what I mean? We like when you watch when you read a Spider-Man comic, you might have references to
the Baxter building might be in the background or something.
Exactly.
Like that.
Or you might he might get call Bruce Banner for help or something, but that's it. I want this to be. If I'm reading Spider-Man, I want to see Spider-Man and no one else, type of thing.
Gotcha.
What I do want, honestly, now that I know that they're synthetics, I don't want them to waste the fact that they can rip them apart. You know what I mean? I want them to be used properly as antagonists, and I want to see Dex just go all out and take a lot of them down. Whether he survives or not, I'm okay either way. But I want to see him take a lot of Wayland Yutani down. And like I said, I would like to see a little bit more of what they got their hands in. You know what I mean when it comes to Wayland Yutani as a company, because we all we know from them movie wise, unless I'm missing something, is they're after the xenomorph. Let's get the xenomorph. They're into more than just the xenomorph. You know,
Yeah,
you can just put two and two
it's
together.
like,
I want to see what
but
else they're trying to capture.
how can one corporation have such a hard on for an alien creature when there's an entire fucking galaxy of stuff out
Exactly.
there?
And I think that's part of the problem with the show of Alien Earth. They try to show that there's other creatures, but even in the show, they still focused out on the Xeno. That's all they care about getting. They didn't care about the other four creatures that were also deadly and had things to do.
Well,
Mhm.
do you know what? Myself and Predpool will probably have a fucking stream discussing that. That was a peak. People are probably wondering why the fuck hasn't Martin done a fucking. I don't know how to fucking approach.
He's still trying to let it process.
Processing.
My CPU is in fucking overload. Double feature podcast said yes. I'd love if it's solely focused on
Yes.
Predator. And yeah, City Hunter Love. Yeah, Dick and his father both use bikes. His father has his father's one looks exactly like the fucking Blade Fighter, the Kenner. I'll give Trachtenberg the devil his due, and it's the same in Killer Killers. They you got this shitty over the top fucking motorbike in the Predator Kenner line, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna put that in there. I don't know if I can have that. That's canon now." It's like, yeah, fuck it.
But it's for Predator geeks like you and
Yeah.
Marty. You could appreciate, them reaching that far into the lore and stuff like that. No one but us remembers the fucking Kenner toys. You know what I mean? So that's a little bit extra fun.
Predpool, what about yourself, sir? What is one thing you're hoping to see, and one thing you do not want to fucking see?
I want to see, and hopefully this kept the promise that in a way that Dex survives. I don't want him to have a heroic's death. I don't want him to be, oh no, Dex. No, I want him to survive. I want there be a possibility, whether it be animated, whether it be another live action, that he shows up and he continues, and we see more of his future hunts of what and how he handles, and perhaps one day take over his father's position. That's what I like to see. What I don't want to see is in the movie, it's at night, Dex is sitting there, Squirt comes on his leg, he starts petting Squirt. They like have this moment. I don't want to see Squirt and Dex have, an owner and pet moment, and he just petting this thing.
Makes this face that Scar was going right before Scar kissed Santa.
Exactly.
Like, oh, well, what if it's like, what if he doesn't? Dex doesn't realize that this thing, like some simians, it's super amorous, and it just starts humping his fucking leg or some shit.
That's when Dex should throw him and shoot him or something, whatever. But I don't.
Bang.
Yeah.
I don't want to see a special bonding between them. I mean, I don't need to see I know they're trying to show as far as like some kind of emotions of a predator, but there's only up to a certain point I want to see it, and I don't want to see the whole, cutesy thing between predator and some creature, or even with Tia. I know Tia's there more for comic relief to a certain point,
right?
But yeah, I don't want to see him cuddling up with some potential prey.
What if fucking Bud dies and there's that you remember that moment in AVPR where like the predator puts its hand on his fallen brethren's head and
yeah.
It's like, well, what if it's
you don't want to, you don't want Bud to die, and then the next morning you see a little grave with a cross and shit like that.
Well, if Squirt dies, I want to see then Deck strap him to his arm and use him as a shooter.
Bud dies a heroic death. Bud dies a heroic death, and he gives him the little tattoo or whatever on his forehead before he passes away.
Now, As
But it
stupid
won't
as that
show
would
because
be,
but it won't show because he's so
that would be
furry. So
the
we have to have a shaving sequence.
that would be that was the hardest laugh I would have in all year, and I would appreciate it for that fact of bringing laughter to my life if he were to do that.
Predpool. Bud becomes the new Raphael Andolini. He gives him, he buries him and throws in some badass weapon onto the grave.
No, can you imagine though if Deck gets his mask and in another movie Deck is with Squirt? I'm gonna call him Squirt. That's what I'm calling him from now on.
Yeah.
He's basically his Grogu, and then now
Yeah.
on is Predalorian, and he's going all over the place hunting things.
Yeah, it makes sense. Goes hunted, has issues with Carl Weathers. It's the usual fucking shit, like, you know. Yeah, no, Eric, Larry hit the nail on the head. It's the next Mando's Grogu.
We'll see. I mean, we're like you say, we're taking the piss. We pretty much know that that's the route it's gonna go. I just hope it's not as cute as Grogu. You know what I mean? I don't need to see the fucking, them fighting over cookies or some bullshit like Grogu has done before or something like that. And another thing, honestly, I don't want to see is now that we have that extended end to Killer of Killers. I don't want to see anything to do with Dutch. I don't want to see anything to do with
Harrigan,
and then I'm sorry, I can't remember the girl from Prey. Naru. I don't want them mentioned at all. I don't want to see them in fucking tubes. I don't want to see anything to do with them. You know what I mean? Be its own fucking movie.
What if the after credit is Deck is dropped at a mysterious hunting planet, and he comes across a man and a woman who have been there for quite a long time.
Oh, fucking Royce! It's Royce and Isabel. That'd be brilliant. There's no way they're fucking alive. There's no way they're alive.
Well, they could have been put in stasis.
That's true. We don't know if
stasis solves all those problems now.
Yeah.
Let's see. The fucking Doc Kaiju says I'm a little nervous with Disney putting this out. I've mixed feelings about Alien Earth. I'm with you, Doc. I'm fucking with you, dude.
Well, here's the thing. Hold on. Was Romulus part of Disney when it came out?
Yeah.
Yes.
Then I'm not too worried. You know what I mean? You can't just say that just because it's Disney, we can't get something like Romulus.
So was Killer of Killers, and so was Prey, kind of, right? Prey kind of like
Prey was
I mean, as much as we like to shit on Disney for being cutesy stuff, they've put out some hard stuff, in these two universes since taking over Fox.
And Prey did put the dog, which was kind of, you kind of felt worried about the dog, and but it was done well, as far as how the dog was implemented into that movie.
She wasn't calling him Squirt.
Yeah, and
exactly.
It fire. But yeah, the kind of again how they implement this thing, and I'm hoping maybe the guys at AVP Galaxy may have gotten the wrong information. Like,
do you think, Marty? Honestly, all jokes aside, do you think it's because you've been burned so many times by both universes that's why you're so wary of this one?
Yeah,
kind of like when Romulus was coming out, you were very wary of Romulus too. You know what I mean? Because you're such a fan of both franchises, and we've gotten some shit, from both franchises. You think that could be it too?
Like, I'm not going to lie, I still haven't warmed to Romulus. Like you said, can we get an ending where the thing isn't thrown out the back of a fucking spaceship for once?
Right.
Like, that ending was essentially Alien Resurrection with fucking, the second character is called Tessa. Tia and Tessa. The second synthetic is called Tessa. She's the combat model of the Weyland-Yutani Weapons Division.
Remember, it's Tessa, not Tesla. Tessa.
Yeah. She's evil, but she's not that fucking evil. But yeah, look, Eric, I was again. Romulus wasn't what makes me pause. In the Predator side of things, Killer of Killers and Prey, I'm fairly secure, but okay. Earth has made me fucking pause and go, okay. Yeah, okay, Disney. You maybe you should just be a bit more kind of scrutinizing some of the stuff that's going on here. But that's just me. But yeah, look. We have a month before this thing comes out,
Right.
and hopefully it'll be good.
I'm also confident because if you guys remember, the trailer starts, Deck crash lands, and it literally says from the one, basically, the one from the director of 13 Cloverfield Lane, which I thought was great,
That's
and
a great
Prey,
movie.
which I thought was great. So it's
Mm.
in good hands.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's just how much did the company, like Whalen Yutani, how much did they get their hands in the finished
yeah.
product? That's all that depends. I think it started in good hands, so we'll just have to have faith and see.
Yeah, I think the product's gonna be more down the line if this does Predator franchise does become more popular,
Mm-hmm.
and then Disney and other people want to get more of their hands into it and start influence it more, try to milk it as much as possible. I think down the road that's what we might be concerned. But I think right now in these early stages, I think we should be okay as far as
Mm-hmm.
enjoying what it's being produced. I think just maybe either 2 movies down the line, if they get that far, that's what we're gonna have to worry where they might be going to downside.
Yeah, it's like you were saying, Eric. There is the residue of an MCU movie here,
Right.
and I think AVP is going to be their Avengers. I think we're going to have Rain and Andy and a bunch of people teaming up. Well, and like there's going to be bad predators and good predators and fucking
As
And
long
they're
as
gonna
I
throw in
don't,
all.
as long as I don't
engineers.
have an 80-year-old Dutch, I don't give a shit. Okay, you know what I mean? Or his twin brother that was pulled out of New York City or
John
whatever.
Schaefer.
Yeah, yeah. You know what I mean?
I
So
I'm they they do, but like it's wanting to collect stuff, but it's another thing to fucking have something made merely for the term of collecting and then being a character secondary. I'm going to round it off here, but before I finish up, Eric, what is on your agenda? What is out? What do you want people to go check
oh,
out?
jeez. YouTube channel. Hey, Internet Eric here. I've been doing monthly themes this year. So last month was Stephen King's September. I have discussed great films like Stand By Me and The Long Walk, which The Long Walk is one of the
That was
best films
fucking
I've seen
amazing.
in a long, long time. But don't worry, I've also discussed some shitty films like The Mangler as well. This month is Oddball October. And what I'm doing is just fucking weird movies. You know what I mean? Whether it's weird concepts, whether it's characters that are weird as hell, weird to look at, or just like a David Lynch film. So just today, I uploaded a gnome named Norm, where Anthony Michael Hall and a Stan Winston gnome puppet are in a buddy cop movie.
That
Uh,
that looks amazing. As
it was
said
a
before,
movie.
Eric, you got to check out Puchinsky.
I've already watched enough of it on YouTube where it's in my previously viewed section, so it'll be on there. But I'm also going to discuss stuff with weird characters, like the 2 Basket Case sequels. I'm going to do or discuss Frankie Frico, which is supposedly a nod bag. It just came out. It's from the director of Psycho Gorman, which I loved. It's just like a nod back to like the little monsters craze that was in the 80s. And also this, what's today, Monday? So Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Central. So if you're watching this in Marty's time zone, I don't know when the fuck it's gonna be. But me and my friend Melissa, we have a bi-weekly live stream podcast where she's a newbie to horror movies, and I'm just bringing her in and asking her opinions. 2 weeks ago, for the first time, she sat down, watched, and discussed Carrie, Brian De Palma's Carrie, with Sissy Spacek. And this Wednesday, I'm going to be the mean friend, and we're going to sit down and watch Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, because she requested a stupid movie.
You horrible bastard.
Well, here's the thing. She said, since it's Halloween, she says, I want stupid people in costumes. I'm like, well, there's a lot of stupid people. I said, how about movies? Because I said, how about people in costumes in stupid movies? She's like, okay. And I said, well, do you want storybook characters? Do you want demons? Or do you want goblins? And she says, well, let's do storybook characters first, and then let's do goblins. So I said, okay, well, you're going to hate me in October. This Wednesday, we're discussing Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. And then in 2 weeks, she'll probably quit the podcast because we're also going to be live and discuss Troll 2. And she has no idea what she's getting into.
Jesus Christ.
There's playlists for everything I discussed on the channel, so it's easy to find.
Did this poor woman run you at some fucking stage in your life? Is that?
Well, since this is live and she might watch this, I'm not going to admit to anything.
Okay. What was I going to say? Predpool, what about yourself, sir?
Well, first I want to give a shout out to City Hunter Love. Hopefully it's the same person. A couple of years ago, she sent me this Predator, and I still have it. So I just want to give her thanks, and I still got this that you mailed me a couple of years ago, and I still appreciate it. So thank you very much still. So I haven't forgotten. As far as my channel, I'm still doing some reviews of figures, from different ones, third party, whatever. I'm getting a new GI Joe one, Budo. Should be coming in next week. He's a samurai type GI Joe, so that makes sense. So I'll do reviewing that, and I have a lot of stuff that I'm still waiting to get from either Kickstarters or pre-orders, etc. Once they start arriving, then I'll start reviewing that. As far as I'm still active on X, I try to post at least one picture a day of figures posing, doing action or whatever. Sometimes I do something funny with them. So check me out on X. It's on the same name, Predpool. So that's pretty much all I'm got going on with me right now.
Can I say one more thing, Marty, before you talk about your
Go
channel?
first.
I'm also bringing back my interview series. I haven't done one of those in like 3 months because I was in the middle of a move. This Saturday at I think it's 7 p.m. Central. It's on my my channel. I will be discussing or I'll be interviewing professional wrestler Insane Lane. He just recently had his retirement match, so we're going to talk about where does he go from here, type of thing. In November, I have, for you horror fans and slasher fans, I have scheduled Beatrice Bopel, and who she is. If you have seen Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child, she plays Freddy Krueger's mother, Amanda, the nun. Ooh. And in December, I'm still working out a date with Adam Marcus, director of Jason Goes to Hell. He's got a new documentary coming out. But I do have, for the very first Saturday in December, if you're a fan of the Friday the 13th series, I have Lauren Marie Taylor attached for an interview. She played Vicky in part 2. She was the one who was trying to get with the guy in the wheelchair. You know what I mean? And she also returned in, if you've seen In a Violent Nature, she's the one that saved the girl at the end driving the car. So she's making a return to horror. So I have her scheduled for December.
No, that's pretty cool. And again, if anyone is a horror fan, make sure to check out Eric's channel because he's done some cool interviews with some pretty cool people.
Thank you.
And yeah, myself, I decided to break the norm and do a quick video on a PSA that scared the fucking shit out of me.
I'm watching that once I leave here.
As a child. And yeah, it's a very Irish fucking PSA. That's all I'll tell you. Also, my gorgeous, wonderful girlfriend will be starting her channel soon enough. There was a bit of an issue there, and she has to start from scratch. So if you are any way a horror fan or like movies, once she gets up and running, please give Jen a sub. Her content is great. It was great in the past. It was great now, and it will be fucking fantastic in the future. So please subscribe to Jen's Reviews from the Grave.
We'll spread the word, dude, once it's up and running.
Yeah, we're just taking a while to make sure everything is fucking clean and clear and up and running in the most fucking efficient way possible. And if you're a horror aficionado, be sure to check in to Sean's channel tomorrow. The Horror Hangouts crew is going to be on Sean's channel discussing it's not up yet, City Hunter Love, but I will leave a link to it once it gets up and running. And but tomorrow she is going to be in the horror corner with Monty, the horror miser Monty G, another great guy, Triv, and herself, and they're going to be discussing the trilogy, the 2018 Halloween trilogy, and what worked, what didn't work, and does it deserve the ire it gets? If you ask me, the second one fucking certainly does, but she's gonna fucking kill me. That said, I
Godspeed,
love
my
you,
friends,
babe.
with that stream. I'm not afraid of her. I'll say what I think, but no.
But yeah, also before I go, I just want to thank everyone who stopped in. Double Feature Podcast, amazing channel. I said it before and I'll say it again. Check those ladies out. Mika and Kira are fucking absolutely awesome. City Hunter Love, a great fucking collector of all things Predator, specifically Predator 2. So check it out. We had Doc Kaiju. We had Larry the Horror Cat Dad, another fucking acolyte of figure collecting like myself and Predpool. Who else had we? I'm going fucking blind in my old age, lads. We had Trenchy, the Soulless Trenchcoat, another fucking awesome dude. And anyone else that was in the chat, if I missed you, I don't think I did though. Thanks for
Squirt.
stopping.
You forgot Squirt.
Fuck Squirt. And it's Bud. Are we going with Bud or Squirt?
I'm going with Squirt.
Hopefully, I don't know if you're a soda drinker, if they have it over there in where you're at, Marty. But when I go to the theater, I'm going to ask if they have Squirt. That's a fine.
That should be their new mascot, actually.
Hey, Disney has no problem. You know, if they could put fucking Luke Skywalker on a package of Duracell batteries, you know that they can help promote this movie by putting Squirt's cute little face on a can of soda.
Oh my god! And they can have like the fiery flavor one too.
Yes. Squirt flaming Cheetos.
Oh my god,
lads! Yeah, you're giving them ideas, and you won't see a single red fucking cent for any of this.
The one chip challenge with Squirt right on the box.
Oh my gosh, that'd be amazing.
See, that's you mentioned one fire breathing monkey, and this is the shit you get. Right, with that,
it's your own damn fault, Marty.
I just want a hot sauce bottle shaped like Squirt, and it's all the hot sauce coming out of them.
A plushie. She wants a plushie. Yeah, there'll be plushies. There'll be fucking plushies. So I'm gonna end it here.
Squirt popcorn box at the theater. Popcorn tin
with hot sauce.
See,
someone told me we're getting a helmet.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
I like that.
I'm still hoping for a Squirt popcorn, but yeah, we'll see.
Jesus fucking Christ. Anyway, with that, guys, thanks a million for stopping by. You all kick ass in the fucking comments and the chat. And to these sexy bastards, you're fucking legendary. I pulled this out of my arse at the 11th hour, and they came.
He squirted it out of his ass at the 11th hour.
I did,
and it was hot.
I don't know. I don't know if it'll be as fucking potent, but like, you know. So
we'll find out next month.
Do it! Do it now!
Squirt it now!
Jesus
Get to the toilet.
Get to the crapper.
Get to the crapper.
The crapper.
Good to be back, Marty.
Okay, it is. Right, adios. Hasta luego. Have a good one. Take care.
Later.
Bye now.